2 words, 12 letters, 0 debate. Angel Reese leans into the microphone, cracks the tiniest half smile, and fires the fuse.
Hi, Angel. David Moses with the Bigs Media. Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
Boom. In the 3-second hush that follows, you can hear camera shutters rattle. You can hear reporters inhale, and, if you lean close enough, you can hear the WNBA's glass ceiling splinter. Those 2 syllables travel farther than the basketball she just dropped. They ricochet across highlight reels, radio shows, and comment sections by breakfast. One sentence, and we have entered the Caitlin Clark era, and everyone else is playing for supporting credits. Because baked inside that brush-off is a confession. Caitlin Clark owns the conversation now. Ratings, ticket lines, cultural oxygen, all of it. One rookie has yanked a 28-year-old league out of niche corners and into primetime center stage. She tripled average viewership overnight, forced ESPN to rewrite its afternoon grid, and persuaded arena managers to unlock upper bowls nobody had visited since Beyoncé. For a league that spent decades begging for crumbs, any crumbs, those numbers are a Thanksgiving feast. The accountants ran projections. If Clark merely held her collegiate averages, Indiana's gate revenue alone would erase the franchise's previous 3-year operating deficit by August. If she outperformed, and every spreadsheet screamed she would, the entire league would trigger its first collective bargaining escalator. That's not hype. That's rent, mortgages, daycare, retirement funds.
And if you take Caitlin Clark out of the WNBA and her team, it's not the same. She's packing now larger arenas. She's taking and making shots nobody's ever done in the history of the sport. She is Steph Curry.
Meanwhile, social platforms lit up like Vegas. Clips of Clark drilling logo threes outpaced LeBron highlights 2-1. Women's hoops had always asked for attention. Suddenly, it was drowning in it. Draft night, April 15, 2024. The Brooklyn Academy of Music is bathed in fever blue, but suspense is dead on arrival. Indiana possesses the first pick and the only pick that matters. Clark makes the slow walk to the podium, fixes the crowd with a grin, and receives a jersey nobody expects her to wear for very long, because the replica version is already back-ordered until July. Backstage, someone whispers, "Let's see her do it against grown women." That comfort blanket is older than the internet. Pro veterans always believe the rookie is about to meet reality. Game 1 shreds the quilt. Connecticut versus Indiana draws 2.1 million viewers, the best opening night audience in 23 years. If you convert that to ticket stubs, it's 9 straight NBA sellouts watching from the couch. Denial doesn't melt in a single broadcast, though. Social timelines flood with veteran side-eyes. Enjoy the buzz now, kid. Numbers lie. The W stands for work. Meanwhile, Clark floats to the left wing and buries logo threes that whistle through the rafters like warning sirens.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
She isn't knocking, she's kicking the door off the hinges. When math refuses to shrink, muscle vows to do the accounting. Screens mutate into blindsides, transition defense becomes trench warfare, and rookie whistles freeze in referees' throats. Kennedy Carter buries a shoulder into Clark's ribs. Deanna Jones undercuts her on a rebound, and studio hosts label it a necessary welcome. Translation: if we can't outshine the storyline, bruise it. Clark bruises, telephoto lenses capture purple fingerprints along her triceps, but she also adapts. She signs on with a nutritionist, trades fast food for science, and adds 8 pounds of muscle to a frame already built like a trebuchet. By week 6, she's logging league-high mileage, wedging herself into rebounding crowds twice her size, and flinging no-look lasers that ignite corner threes. Hate fuels cardio, apparently. Anger reaches a public crescendo. July 3rd, national TV, Fever at Liberty. Breanna Stewart hacks, Sabrina Ionescu jaw-jacks, and 15,000 New Yorkers chant "overrated" like a hymn. Clark answers with 13 assists, a chase-down block on Stewart, and a heat-check bomb that hushes Barclays to pin-drop silence. SportsCenter loops the clip, TikTok loops it harder. 3 nights later in Chicago, same movie. Clark splits a double, lands on a defender's foot, grimaces, and 2 possessions later splashes a 3 from the city logo. The anger shifts from physical to existential. How do you stop a player who seems to convert hostility into octane? When bruises fail, talking points clock in for overtime. Think pieces float privilege and algorithm bias. Why is the white Midwestern shooter monopolizing the lens? Others blame Bristol. ESPN built a one-woman league. The subtext is glaring. If the pie feels lopsided, cut new slices by redefining fairness. Yet while pundits chase semantics, accountants chase decimals. Online dashboards show 61% of all WNBA jersey sales now feature number 22. Nielsen curves spike whenever Clark touches the ball and sag when she sits. Beverage giants fight over front patch inventory. Sneaker companies station interns at Indianapolis baggage claim. And social media managers discover Clark clips outperform NBA highlights 2-1. Free agents hear those digits louder than any sermon. Natasha Howard, Dewana Bonner, Sydney Colson, women who already own rings, quietly instruct their agents, "Find me a locker next to Clark." They choose gravity over guaranteed touches because gravity pays in wins and brand equity. Bargaining finally collapses during Indy's summer road swing. DC bumps a Sunday tilt to Capital One. Chicago unlocks the United Center. Minnesota staff works double shifts to host Caitlin Ageddon. It turns out paying overtime is cheaper than turning away customers armed with Amex cards and Clark jerseys. Media scholars search 3 decades of female athlete coverage for precedent. They find none. Not Mia Hamm, not Serena, not 99 World Cup mania moved domestic team sports this hard, this fast. September arrives, college football roars back, and Clark highlights still lead morning shows. The bubble, it seems, has walls of reinforced steel. Acceptance begins with spreadsheets and ends with policy. Broadcast partners highlight Indiana in neon. 41 of 44 Fever games secure national slots. ABC, ESPN, even TNT nights once guarded for NBA Thursdays. Networks aren't philanthropists. They chase ad buyers who chase eyeballs. When beer companies pay Super Bowl money for a Tuesday in June, nobody whispers about overexposure. Franchises follow. Phoenix moves to Footprint Center. LA opens crypto's top deck for the first time in half a decade. Dallas prints a commemorative ticket that sells out in 26 minutes, faster than Luka bobblehead night across the street. Secondary markets react. StubHub posts mid-court seats for $700, triple the norm, and they vanish before lunch. Sponsors trace the oxygen. Nike schedules 8 Fever colorways, even a logo edition in Hawkeye Gold. Amazon greenlights a behind-the-scenes documentary series before cameras roll. Dynamic pricing bots treat Clark appearances like playoff inventory. Northwestern economists publish the Clark Multiplier, projecting a 20% surge in local revenue every time she plays. NBA stars tweet her clips. European networks buy syndication. The commissioner's office drafts a salary cap escalator pegged to revenue milestones the league once called fantasy. Clark turned those milestones into mile markers. May 4th. Carver Hawkeye Arena. Exhibition, Fever versus Brazil. Meaningless on paper, priceless on cam. Clark crosses half court, pauses on the exact logo where she shattered the NCAA record, and lifts from 36 feet.
For Brazil, here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
The ball arcs for less than a heartbeat, yet somehow long enough for 1.3 million viewers to inhale together. Brazil's bench forgets competition, swarms for selfies. The crowd becomes a galaxy of phone lights. The ESPN caller abandons syntax and just laughs. Ratings flash. The telecast outdraws last year's Finals Game 1 during preseason. Preseason. After the proof shot, dominoes sprint. Critics retreat or recalibrate. Brands that hedged overpay to catch up. Tourism boards pitch Clark weekend packages. The league issues a memo titled Aggressive Growth Posture, Corporate for We Almost Dropped the Bag. Please keep watching. Locker rooms evolve. Veterans stop asking why she gets cameras. They ask how to turn screen time into sneaker clauses. Rookies scrap the humble act and arrive with media decks. The blueprint is written in 4K. Local affiliates lead broadcasts with fever highlights wedged between MLB scores and NFL minicamp drama. YouTube compilations titled "Clark Changed Everything" hit 2 million views in 48 hours. Even the haters pivot from dismissal to NBA conspiracy theories. The temperature has changed. Pretending otherwise just sounds silly. The grief cycle ends where growth begins. Fans chant MVP for a sophomore on rookie scale pay. Kids drill her sidestep logo routine on driveway asphalt. And the league, finally, leans in instead of leaning away. Caitlin Clark is not a one-woman league, but she is the match that finally found dry timber. The question now isn't whether the fire burns, it's how many minds warm themselves beside it. Drop a trophy emoji if you believe the blaze only grows from here. Smash subscribe and pull up a seat. Next week, we unpack the rookie class plotting to test her range, on the court and at the box office. Angel Reese was right. It isn't about one player, it's about who does the work when the moment knocks. For 28 seasons, the W waited for a spark. Now the ceiling smokes. Next question? Because here's the truth no offensive foul can erase. Momentum listens to numbers, and the numbers all shout her name in capital letters.